you do feel a sense of embarrassment, because it's like, when you have that much clutter, it reveals to you how big your void actually is. Like, your void is so big, you needed to buy that much to feel a sense of fulfillment. Okay, so the things that we're going to be talking about today, number 1 is focusing on yourself, your health and your beauty. Number 2, experiences. Number 3, cleaning. And then number 4, less but the best / expensive. Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. So today's minimalism video is going to be one of the mind, because I think that what's up here is probably, it's the thing that manifests your life. Like, when you think your life isn't that great, your life just keeps manifesting that. So yeah, I just wanted to share today 4 things that I think that you could use minimalism as a tool to help improve your life, of things that have really vastly outproportionally improved my life using minimalism, a tool that is not anything like a declutter. That actually has nothing to do with decluttering, but actually more like lifestyle principles that could help elevate your life. Without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's get it. Let's go. Number 1. So if you are on a minimalism journey, something that you could definitely focus on, as weird as this is to actually focus on yourself. I know that the minimalism community is really big on this whole like decluttering narrative as like the center point of minimalism, but I felt like my minimalism made me feel most fulfilled when I used it as a tool to help kind of let go of unnecessary clutter, so I could finally start focusing on myself and investing in myself and improving myself. So that included like health and beauty. Some of my favorite things that came out of that in my minimalism, I mean, right now it's not the case, but my minimalism taught me to love my natural hair color, which is not a popular narrative in society. You know, like a kept woman or like a well done woman is usually going to the salon and getting, you know, highlights and doing the 9 yards and all of that. But I felt like for myself in minimalism, I get praised the most, or was praised, I guess not anymore, but like my natural virgin hair was one of my most praised features on my YouTube channel. So I think that I can say is investing like your health in your minimalism journey. Don't be so obsessed with decluttering all the time. Yes, declutter, but you can use it as an opportunity to put back into yourself. So this could be like beauty practices, health practices. Maybe, you know, you could learn more about supplements, you could learn more about nutrition, you could learn more about skincare, healthcare, just general health, things you've been wanting to address. You could use the time and focus on that. I think that minimalism, the me part of minimalism, is to focus on you, to get rid of all the distractions, so you could like finally start living your best life and using your resources to finally take care of the most important thing, which is yourself. Okay, number 2, experiences. One of the core pillars of minimalism is to focus on experiences rather than accumulation of material goods. And there's nuances to this, honestly. Like, it's nice to have nice things. Like, I'll be the first to tell you, it's nice to have nice things. So I'm never going to discredit that, like, although it is popular in the minimalism narrative, especially in the extreme minimalism narrative. But I think that something that can be very beautiful is to finally kind of embrace and maybe place a little bit more importance on experiences. Especially because like it's kind of hard to conceptualize when you first start off your journey. Material possessions are easy to see. Like, you can still see them, you can touch them. Experiences, on the other hand, are a little bit harder to conceptualize. Like, how does that really add value? It might be something that you really only experience when you experience more experiences, or you've lived longer and then you realize your experiences are actually way more valuable than your material possessions. Like, unless you have like a vintage car that appreciates in value, most material possessions are not as valuable as life experiences that you collect. So I think that some of the life experiences that have really added value to my life, a lot of travel, going to my favorite cafe, going to Starbucks. I know a lot of people are like, don't drink Starbucks, not good for you, financially ruining you, and which is probably true, but I'm using Starbucks as an analogy for something that, like, I could use the money in, like, I don't know, maybe buy like a dress or something, but like Starbucks gives me quality of life. Like, when I was a kid, I always promised myself that when I was older, I was going to treat myself to luxury coffee, and so like I did. And like that's what minimalism is, like figuring out what's important to you and going for it regardless of what other people say, because like honestly everyone's opinion doesn't really matter. I know it's like super macabre and very morbid to think about this, but like they're all gonna die, and like you're gonna die. And so when you reverse engineer from that perspective, like who cares what a dead person thinks? It really will free you to live your life with the experiences that you want, and not what like society says or what your mom says or what your best friend says. Like it's not up to them to decide how you're going to live. It needs to be a sense of courage for you to decide how you want to live. Okay, number 3, cleaning. So one of my favorite things about minimalism, I think could serve somebody else, is that to finally be clean. You won't like really believe how life-changing it is to constantly live in a clean environment till you live in a clean environment. I think that in accumulating material possessions before I became like a really serious minimalist, I had clutter, you know, I had stuff, and like I felt a lot of joy in acquiring things, which I think is normal because like that is human nature. We are, you know, biologically programmed to accumulate material possessions. Cleaning is really nice, and actually the having less in itself is like a fake clean, because like I remember when I used to be in the dorm room, our homeroom teacher used to say of like Will's room and I, like, wow, like your room is really clean. And it wasn't necessarily that it was cleaner, but there wasn't crap everywhere. Pardon my French. But as an extreme minimalist, when I was in med school, because I needed to use all my mental resources to study, I had a really clean, like a clean desk, like a clean vanity, like a clean bed. And I say clean in the sense that there was no clutter. My mental health, I mean, wasn't great then. Med school was very stressful. But I didn't have the stress of clutter. Like I never came at home and felt clutter stress, which I know is a thing because like recently not recently, I've been cleaning out a lot this summer. I'm actually like very happy with how it's looking right now. But when I was like going hard with the shopping, like I had shopping bags like on the floor. I had like clothes that didn't fit like on the floor, like hanging on the chairs. It was just like, it had become what Fumio Sasaki said, where it was like, it had become a museum of things you thought were going to make you happy. And like, you do feel a sense of embarrassment because it's like, when you have that much clutter, it reveals to you how big your void actually is. Like your void is so big, you needed to buy that much to feel a sense of fulfillment. Versus when you need less, it's because like we can understand that it's like you're fulfilled on the inside, right? And obviously it takes time. Sitting with your void is very difficult. When I first started extreme minimalism and sitting in my own void was very difficult. I was like, oh my God, like this sucks. Like I just want to go shopping. I know if I buy something, I will just be so much happier. And I actually did not discover the truth of all of this until I shopped, until I let myself shop again. And then I was kind of disgusted with my own clutter. Then I was like, shit, they were right. Yeah, all of this clutter is just a museum of the things that I thought they would make me happy. Like I would just baseline after. And I was like, okay, well, minimalism was right. But I really had to experience it for myself to understand that. And maybe you might need to as well too. So yeah, in terms of minimalism, something that I can like really advocate for you to focus on is on decluttering and cleaning and living in a clean environment, because I think everyone deserves to live in a clean environment. Okay, number 4, less but the best / expensive. Well, yes and no, not necessarily, but let's get to talking about it. One of the things that minimalism taught me that was not my own natural tendency. My own natural tendency was to buy what was cheap, what was affordable. I really couldn't make that jump to like bite the bullet and buy less but buy better. Like it just didn't really seem to me like economically, I just didn't feel emotionally comfortable doing that. But minimalism taught me to kind of like maybe own less but funnel more funds into like maybe one better quality product. You would find a lot more fulfillment and joy in that. And like I didn't really believe it till I decided to like test drive it myself. Like I first tested this concept with makeup. I stopped buying like lower grade makeup and buying maybe more like designer, and not that designer necessarily equates to better, but just applying this concept. And I did definitely feel it, whether you agree or don't agree with this. But yeah, I actually did find more joy in like less, but knowing that I bought the thing that I wanted, you know, like I would save up and like I'd buy that. And then most recently with buying dupes, that really taught me that like dupes did not scratch the itch. And then I had more clutter. Like I literally wanted the UGG scruffettes, and I bought like almost 5 dupes before I finally got the scruffettes. And it was not until I got the scruffettes that I bought it. I think I spent more on the dupes than if I had just bought the damn scruffettes in the first place. They're slippers, by the way, if you're wondering what a scruffette is. And so through these like little small experiences, I kind of realized that minimalism, obviously this is a financial thing. Take this with a grain of salt, use some discernment, use some nuance with this within financial responsibility, like in a range, but like to apply the principle, right? I kind of realized, and this might be a personal journey, you may or may not agree, but yeah, I definitely do think that there is some life-changing aspect that happens when you start buying less and you buy better. Like, wouldn't it be nicer to have like one good suit than like 5 mediocre suits? Like the 5 mediocre suits don't add up to one good suit. You know what I mean? So, and I actually didn't come up with this concept myself. I actually got this from The Life-Changing Magic of Thinking Big, where the author used that example: buy a better suit, and it's a way better use of money than a bunch of like mediocre suits. If you're on a minimalism journey, I would highly recommend playing around with the notion of buying less but buying better within your financial situation, right? Like, I don't want you to strain yourself. Like, take it slow. Do it with small things. Like, I started off with makeup. Like, instead of buying $25 lip balm, I bit the bullet and I bought like $150 lip balm, and like I found a lot more joy in that. And also, like, when using it, the experience is in itself a lot more enjoyable. And sometimes, not always, sometimes the more expensive item is better quality. But obviously, I don't like to use expensive as a marker of quality. That's not always true, but applying the principle could be better. And I actually did apply that for flying. I told Will I want to fly less often, but I want to fly better. So if it meant I could only fly like once a year and it was a first class trip, I would rather do that. I already had my season of like, you know, like going to bum hotels and like backpacking in Asia and like staying at hostels. Like, I already had my season of that, and I got that out of my system. And so now I was like, okay, I'm curated. I hit all my bucket list countries. I want to fly in style, and that's where I'm at. So 'tis a journey, but I just thought I would share that with you guys. So I hope that you guys could have enjoyed these things to focus your minimalism on that could improve your life. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.